Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It looks like we've got a few football fans here.
Yeah.
We've got some football legends, former Arsenal player Bacary Sagna and Soheil Var. Bacary, first of all, on the pitch you were known as Mr. Reliable. How do you believe challenges can be addressed for the next generation of footballers?
Well, first of all, thank you for being here. It's an honor. I think life is about challenging himself, challenging the lives, challenging every single day, and I think we all have to go through challenges as soon as we wake up. So for kids, they have to understand it's a pathway to their dreams, and especially into football, it's so difficult to reach your dreams. You have so many obstacles, so many hard days. Not only the beautiful one when you celebrate, so of course you have to overcome the challenges, but you have a way of doing it, and you can learn and listen to the advices from people that made it and from people that failed also, because if you fail, there's a reason behind it, and I believe you have to learn every single day.
Soheil, 200 million views, 1.5 million followers combined. You're a bit of a star on TikTok. Tell us about Qabila FC.
So, Qabila FC, we're building a professional football club in 365 days, and we're doing it from scratch. We're documenting everything on social media. So far, 4 months in, we've got over 200 million views. We created a fan base from all over the world, and the why behind the project is special. So we documented my journey to signing a pro football contract. It took over 600 days, and along the journey, we saw a lot of the behind the scenes we didn't like about football. So the idea with Qabila FC is we want to create a platform that sets players up for success, not only on the football pitch, but also outside of the football pitch. So Qabila FC is a club for the players. We're building it with the fans, with the community, and we're currently on day 150, actually, is today. So we've got 365 days to pull it off. Let's see if we can do it.
And back, you've got projects of your own that you're involved in. Can you tell us a bit about those?
Yes, the first one is a tech company called Bacary. So basically, my partner found a new technology on backpacks that allows the backpack to have a load decrease of 92%. So we are developing school bags, hiking bags, soon baby lifters to help ladies whenever they're pregnant. So it's a challenge. We were talking about challenge. It's a challenge because we want to help every single person on this world and to provide them from having back problems. And on the second hand, I created a football app called BPro. It's 3 years of work, a long way, but finally, officially Apple approved. So the app itself is to answer all the questions I got asked on my life. And this is where you have a synergy with Soheil, because he was talking about the outside, the surrounding of football, and this is the surrounding of football. Being professional, of course, is about trainings, but a lot about how much you have to care about the surrounding, about understanding life, about understanding the nutrition, understanding the contract, understanding everything around injuries. So everything will be answered inside. So yes, I'm going to use AI also inside. I'm going to use the body recognition to try and scout kids, because unfortunately in some of the region today it's not possible, because the scouts, they don't travel to Africa, they don't travel to Asia. By using the AI into the app, whenever kids will be uploading their video will be analyzed, and I could easily put them in contact with clubs or different agents that will have an impact on their own life. So it's a nice challenge.
It sounds like an interesting challenge. Soheil, your project is really interesting as well. I think a lot of people are wondering, what are you going to do differently compared to just a normal football club?
Yeah, so we're going to do a lot differently. One of the things we're going to do differently is we're not only going to focus on football development. So yes, we're going to have all the best football development, technical, tactical, physical, but we're also going to look at every single angle of a football player. So we want to develop football players multidimensionally. That means taking care of their mental health, setting them up with a mindset coach, taking care of their diet, their nutrition, building a personal brand for every single football player that comes and plays for us. So now we can get them brand deals, we can get them sponsorships, taking care of their finances. So now we're not only creating winners on the football pitch, but we're also going to have winners outside the football pitch. And that's why I'm super excited about Box app and everything he's creating. Basically, you've got someone who's played at the highest level, Arsenal legend, Man City, France national team, everything he's learned in his career, it's now coming into an app. And this is where we have the synergy because we want to set our players up with all the different resources for them to accelerate. So we're going to partner up with Bach, with some of the best guys in every single industry to make sure when somebody comes and plays for Al Qabila FC, they're going to succeed on the football pitch, but also outside of it.
Bach, there must be something in the coffee at Arsenal because Mathieu Flamini, Hector Bellerin, I think there's quite a few former Arsenal players who have got big investments, business interests. What is it about former Arsenal players and being successful post-career?
We were talking about the surroundings, and something that I will remember all my life. Whenever I was reaching training sessions, I used to see Mathieu Flamini on the phone constantly. And we used to make fun of him in a nice way. You know, Mathieu is family. And he was already on a talk with his partner from today. And you know how successful he is today. You know, he owns a multi-billionaire company today, and he already had the mindset of being an entrepreneur. And by surrounding yourself with this type of people, you want to learn more. And when you think back, you have a lot of time. You have a lot of spare time when you play. You reach the session at 9, and by 1 p.m. you finish. So most of the time you have probably 7-8 hours a day to learn. I don't have to say, and I'm not saying you have to focus on learning on these specific hours, but if you dedicate 1-2 hours into learning more, reading more the press, reading about the economy, trying to learn a new skill, trying to know a new language, for sure, after playing 15 years of your life, you're going to have learned so much, and you probably have set up different businesses, investing in different businesses, and you'll be much wiser. So yes, it's all about the surrounding.
And Soheil, you have a huge influence as a creator. I think people would be interested to know what exactly do you feel like you have a responsibility to your followers because you have such a huge amount of followers?
Yeah, for sure. And Bach nailed it there with what he said. I feel like there's this whole theme right now in football where everybody, if you're doing anything outside of football, you're bad. You're losing focus. You're getting distracted. Football's super important. You need to have your commitment on the football pitch. But also, if we start to encourage football players to tap into other skill sets, to tap into their interests, to make sure they're developing as overall great human beings and not just one-dimensional football players, I think that's what's going to set them up for ultimate success, not just during their career, but also afterwards. So with the platform we have, obviously we've had over 500 million views now on our videos. We've got a fan base from all over the world. So I feel like deep down in my heart, there's this deep commitment where we got to create Al Qabila FC and teach the next generation of youth athletes how to live life, but not just focused on football. I want them to focus on football, but I also want them to develop in all areas of life. So that's what basically, if you go way back, I had the dream. I know Bach can relate. Every young kid, you want to become a professional footballer. I had that dream. I started at 14 at the lowest level of competitive soccer in Canada. I had no network, no connections. I dedicated myself for 8 years. I tried to make it happen, and I failed. And then on the first day of 2021, I picked up the camera. I put out a challenge, 365 days to try to sign a pro football contract. And my commitment was I want to share with the world that, one, it's not about where you are, it's about where you want to get to and how hard you're willing to work to get there. But two, also I want to share the resources and tools for them to be able to accelerate in their career without doing the mistakes that most footballers make. So with the platform, that's essentially the commitment I have and I've had for the last couple of years, is sharing tools and resources for players to have an amazing career.
And Bach, I guess, similar question for you. How important is the younger generation and educating them for you? And you played under Arsene Wenger, who obviously gave chances to a lot of young players.
Yeah, you know, I'm African, and since 6 years old, I'm traveling a lot to Africa. So I'm blessed enough to have seen a lot of talent, but something was missing. They didn't have the chance to get scouted. They didn't have the chance to have the right boots. They didn't have the chance to get the right advices. So it was responsibility for me to give back, if I want to say, because I wanted, let's be honest, I wanted to exit football because it's so tiring and it's so much pressure at the same time. But at the same time, I was thinking it would be unfair to have so much knowledge, to have learned from Arsene Wenger, from Guardiola, from Didier Deschamps, and not share that knowledge. Because that knowledge doesn't belong to me. It belongs to people. And if I can have an impact on the life, and if I can have and be the difference into the life, I have to do it. So for me, the challenge was to become a manager, to switch, because when you switch, you're not ready. You have so much energy, you need adrenaline, and you fall from the sky a bit. And then I was thinking, why will I try to teach 25 person while I can try to teach millions at the same time through a platform? This is why I got into the app. And basically, one other challenge people are facing is not to be able to scout and put their name on the map. That was, and it is the case for every single place today. You have talent in UAE, you have talent in Qatar, you have talent everywhere in the world. The problem is they don't have the chance to take the bus to go to a scouting place. They don't have the chance to wear the right clothes. And money shouldn't be a problem to success, or shouldn't be a problem to be a first way to get into football. So I want to give them this chance. I want to create a bridge between amateur football and professional football. Why would amateur football not benefit from professional advices? Not because they are not on the right place. So I find this is very unfair, and this is reality today, but I think we can change reality and we can try to change tomorrow.
Real inspirational stuff. You mentioned Arsene Wenger and Pep Guardiola there. I've got to ask you, did they, during your career, give you any advice which you've taken with you post-career?
They didn't have to, honestly. Their body language talked by itself. I'm going to talk about Arsene Wenger, the way he is with people, the way he respects people, the way he acted with us was just so human, and he respected us a lot. He used to enter the dressing room at training ground every single day and go and shake everyone's hand. You know, this is not in a culture in England. People come and just say, hey, good morning. But he used to come, shake our hands, and we used to, we were like sitting with hot chocolate, talking about everything, laughing, and he used to stand and sit sometimes. So at first we were like, oh, the coach is here, hiding a bit. And then he used to participate to the chat with us, and he was like our dad. And on the other side, Pep Guardiola to me is the reference as a coach, because you need to be very disciplined. You need to understand it's not only on the pitch, it's a whole life you need to adopt. It's not only today, it's about the nutrition you're going to have all week. As an example, if you're 1 kilogram ahead of your weight of home, you're out of the team. You don't train. He came to the Man City and he cut the Wi-Fi in the dressing room. So you become like a child. At first, it's upsetting because you're thinking, I'm not a child. I'm 30 years old, I don't need to go through all those rules. But then you understand why they won the treble last year. Because everyone is kind of disciplined and everyone has the right mindset. And if you don't have the right mindset in sports, you might shine 1 year, 2 years. But after a while, you'll be gone, because to stay at a high level is very difficult for a long time. Every year, you have to withdraw what you did and start from the scratch, because you can play 99 games perfectly. If you make one mistake, you come out the next day on the street and everyone is looking at you in a funny way. So it's difficult. It's difficult because 3 days later, you have to focus again and you have to perform. And if you make another mistake, you're going to come and sit on the bench, and then your whole career is into perspective. So you need to stay focused, but you have way of doing it, and this is what we will try to teach to the kids. Social media is a big part, but you need to be also aware that social media is having and going to have an impact into your career. When you're shining, it's nice. You want to show off, you want to take pictures, but you have to be ready to take the stick if you make a mistake, because from the minute you start sharing, your life belongs to people. So all of those signs we need to teach the kids, because there is a way of teaching kids and make them aware.
Soheil, discipline is a big thing Bacar's just spoken about. And I think people will be interested to know, what are your long-term ambitions for Al Qabila?
Long-term ambitions. So, good question. If I had to recap it, it would be becoming the next generation football club. So we're currently 150 days into the journey. We've got 365 days to try and pull off this crazy challenge of building a pro football club. We're hiring our coaching staff soon. In the summer, we're doing a world tour. So the idea is from May to July, we're going to be going to countries all over the world and we're going to be having showcase events, and in each country, we're going to select one player, and they get a chance to come and play with Qabila FC in Dubai. So the next 150 plus days of the journey is building up the pro football club, and then the long-term aspiration is to be the next generation football club and lead the way for the next wave of football. So we're going to have a men's pro team, but we're also going to have a youth academy, and that's where it gets really, special for me, is because if we can teach these kids at 8 years old, 10, 12, 14 years old, everything we just talked about, all the resources to set them up, then they're going to be winners in life, regardless of what happens with their football. So we're going to create amazing football players, but we're also going to create superstars. They're going to be amazing human beings, and this is what we want to do with Qabila FC. So future aspiration, if I had to recap it, is being the role model and the next generation football club in the football space.
Final question back. We've got 1 minute left, and I think people would be interested to know, if I want to be a Bacary Sagna when I'm older, how do I do it?
I think I had a good education. My parents taught me to stay humble, no matter where I am, no matter what I did. I value people and moments more than anything else. It's not about money, it's not about anything. I am very grateful for the life I lived and for the moment I'm sharing with people, and then you have to be brave. You have to be brave, because whenever you have challenges, you have to go for it. The way my dad came to Europe, left his family and set up his family and raised us as a kids was just an example for me. So as much as I can help people, I do it because I'm in a position to do it. If I can push, and I will be pushing the kids because this is my duty now, I will do it with pleasure because I have the connection to put these kids in the best conditions. And to talk about Soheil, what I like the most is energy when you talk about football. We forget about talking the energy and the love and the passion for football. Nowadays, some people will complain about the commitment of the players, but from the minute you have that energy, nothing is impossible. And football, and becoming a football player is not difficult. People will say it's difficult. It's not difficult. If you stick day by day to the way you have, to the way of training session and everything you have to learn, you will manage to get there. The problem is ego, and when you start disrespecting yourself.
Inspirational stuff. Soheil Var and Bacary Sagna, everyone.
Thank you.